I just had a question. I was wondering if I could run by you. It's just about something I read. I wanted to see what you thought about it.
Okay.
Do you have a minute?
Sure.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a book by this lady named Deborah Layton. But anyway, it's talking about types of groups and organizations. It says, when your own thoughts are forbidden, when your questions are not allowed, and our doubts are punished, when contacts with friendships outside the organization are censored, we are being abused, for the end never justifies the means. When our heart aches knowing we have made friendships that will ever be forbidden, forever forbidden if we leave, we are in danger. When we consider staying in a group because we cannot bear the loss, disappointment, and sorrow our leaving will cause for ourselves and our loved ones, we are in a cult. If there's any lesson to be learned, it's that an ideal can never be brought about by fear, abuse, and the threat of retribution. When family and friends are used as a weapon in order to force us to stay in an organization, something has gone terribly wrong. She's a survivor of Jonestown. Have you ever heard of it?
No, I haven't actually.
Oh, you should check it out. It's all these people followed this guy Jim Jones to a country in Central America, and they all ended up committing suicide. All of them. It was a mass suicide because he said things like, "You should obey him," as the voice of God.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
What
what about what God says? Isn't that important?
what did
What
you
He
think
says
about the
Himself?
What do you think about the quotation? Oh yeah, I believe in the Bible. Yeah. But
You
that's
believe
not.
in the Bible?
Yeah, he wasn't
Okay.
quoting from the Bible and saying that was
Oh
what
yeah,
God said. He was quoting his opinions about it, and said that you should obey me as the
definitely,
voice of God. What
definitely.
did you think
You
about the
see, the
quotation?
I think it's in very contrast of what the Bible says and what God says. I
The
think
quotation?
that should be the most definitely.
What
You
did
see,
you think was
Hebrews.
wrong with it? So you think you should be
Okay, let
threatened?
me. Is it okay if I read you a couple of Bible verses?
Well, I don't see anything in the Bible about what she's saying, but sure.
Okay. Hebrews chapter 12,
Uh huh.
verse verse 11. It says, "True, no discipline seems for the present to be joyous, but it is painful. Yet afterwards, it yields the peaceable fruit of righteousness." So right here, it's saying that Jehovah God disciplines. Is that correct?
Yes, he does. This is talking about dynamics within a group.
Uh
So
huh.
I don't see what,
But
sure, all
so do you
Christians
think
believe
that
that.
people that base their beliefs in the Bible would discipline just like Jehovah does? If Jehovah provides that discipline, wouldn't his organization do the same thing?
Not like this, no.
Not like what? I'm
It's
sorry.
it's talking about if you leave, you lose friends and family. The verses in the New Testament about church discipline, they're not about people who don't come anymore. They're about within the group. Even in 1 Corinthians 5, it says we don't judge those outside. This is talking about you're forced to stay in a group with the threat of, losing your
Okay.
own family. The Bible doesn't talk about that.
Sounds sounds good. Look at this verse, 1 Corinthians 5:11. Okay, this is what Apostle Paul says. It says here, "But now I am writing you to stop keeping company with anyone called a brother who is sexually immoral, or a greedy person, or an idolater, or a reviler, or a drunkard, or an extortioner, not even eating with such a man." So do you think that
Right,
what the
those
Bible says
things.
there is wrong?
Oh, no, no. First of all, it says so called brother. And in Jehovah's Witnesses, when people leave, you don't call them a brother anymore, do you? When people disassociate?
Well, this is talking about someone that was associating
Right,
and was
right.
doing bad things.
This is not talking about that, the quote, so I'm not sure how relevant that is. It's talking about
Okay, what is the quote talking about?
it's talking about wanting to leave a damaging, toxic group And you can't because you'll be shunned in the extreme, in that you lose your family and friends. Did you know some people leave Jehovah's Witnesses because they believe Jesus is their mediator?
Jesus is the mediator, definitely.
No, they teach that he's only mediator for the anointed class.
For the what, I'm sorry?
The anointed class.
No, that's not true. Jesus is the mediator of all of the ones, all of Jehovah's Witnesses, even all of the people around the world.
You should call, you could call headquarters at 845-744-6000 and ask. You probably should check that out.
I have very good contact with the headquarters. Thank you very much.
Worldwide security under the Prince of Peace on page 10. It's on your website.
If you go to jw.org and you put their mediator, it'll show you all the publications we have.
Oh, right. You should try it.
Jesus is the mediator for everybody.
For just the anointed. Yeah, you should try it. Even on the...
let me ask you, were you a Jehovah's Witness before?
No. I just like to study.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you think you should obey the slave as you would the voice of God?
Well, Jesus said that he was going to give us a faithful and discreet slave to help us out. You do not agree with that?
You think he didn't say that? He was do you believe that there's 5?
I could show it to you also.
Who's the evil slave? Who's the evil slave if that's a prophecy? All Christians have always believed that's a parable.
Look what it says here. Matthew 24:45.
I'm very familiar with it. That doesn't say anything like what you said. And if there was one, it certainly wouldn't be the Watchtower, because Jesus warned about false prophets. You know that.
Look at what it here. So we got to understand what Jesus is saying here. Matthew 24:45. It says
anybody can say they are
the faithful and discreet slave.
Yeah, they wouldn't qualify.
Is his master appointed over his domestics. Who is the master?
Jesus.
Are you saying that the devil is the master?
No. Who is the evil slave then? Because that talks about the evil.
I'm talking about the faithful and discreet slave.
But you know the parallel passage talks about evil slave. Were they appointed in 1919?
Yeah, I think what we're doing is we're arguing about facts and we're not getting to understanding. So I'm so sorry that you feel that way.
Did they get appointed in 1919?
Now what? I'm sorry?
Didn't they say they got appointed by Jesus in 1919?
The faithful and discreet slave, yes.
Yeah, that's incredible. So could you give me the first reference to that in the publications? Wouldn't they want to be talking about it like the next day? And explain like how that happened and how they knew that? Could you give me the first? If you want
to go to the Proclaimer's book, then that will definitely give you that answer.
No, it doesn't.
So you do not believe about 1914 when Jesus was enthroned as king, right?
Oh, absolutely not.
You can also you don't believe that? Okay, you can read the
No one does except you guys.
In fact, ma'am, just to let you know, today's Watchtower study talks about that prophecy. You should read it. It's really gonna open your eyes. Okay, so thank you. Sorry for that.
Could you just help me with that about 1919? Like, when did they first put that in print that Jesus chose them, and some of a few details about how that happened and how they knew?
I'm sorry. We're just arguing. You're trying to find things that
that's
use against us.
No, that's an incredible claim. You should have some defense about it.
You should look up the information, okay? And don't believe everything you hear. You believe whatever the Bible says.
When did they first talk about that? When did they first write about 1919?